ओमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Introduction. Haridas Thakura, the preceptor of the Holy Name. The Nectarean notion of the Holy Name is based on Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura's Bengali text Sri Harinam Chintamani, which presents a long conversation on the chanting of the Holy Name between the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the saint Haridas Thakura. The life and the teachings of Haridas Thakura serve as an example for the devotees for all times. Haridas Thakura was one of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's most beloved associates. He appeared in Bengal 30 years before the Lord in the family of the influential Muslim Qazi Habibullah. From his childhood, the exceptionally handsome Haridas was the object of love and attention for his family. If we consider how at the time the Hindus were persecuted and forcibly converted to Muslims, it is an amazing fact that the Muslim-born Haridas soon became the crown jewel of the Hindu society. But the pious Hindus loved him because the nectarian stream of the holy name was incessantly emanating from his heart. At the age of 18, Haridas renounced the world and went to the forest. Attracted by his sweet singing, hundreds of people came to see him and brought fruits as gifts. With a loud Haribol, he would throw the fruits into the crowd. When children picked them up, he would encourage them to call out Haribol themselves, which they did with pleasure, for as a reward they received even more fruits. Haridas Thakura's reputation expanded from day to day, and he was praised as a great soul. Being disturbed by some envious people, he moved to another place. This time, a rich atheistic landowner, Raja Ramachandra Khan, wanted to dissuade him from his meditation and entrusted this task to a prostitute named Hira. One evening, she came to the hut of Haridas Thakur and tempted him to enjoy the night with her, but he continued to chant. Disinterested like a child, and asked her to wait until he had chanted his prescribed number of holy names. By the spiritual power of his chanting, she became so purified that after 3 days she asked for initiation into the holy name. News spread that Haridas Thakur had converted his prostitute to a topmost pure Vaishnavi, and his fame increased more and more. As a pure devotee, Haridas Thakur exhibited extraordinary humility. This was illustrated by an incident which took place in Chandpura. The landlords Hiranya and Govardhana had invited Haridas Thakur to their assembly where they discussed philosophical topics. When the debate turned to Harinam, he contradicted the scholars who were present in the meeting. He declared that the burning of sinful reactions and the liberation of material existence were only byproducts of Harinam. The actual result was the attainment of deep love of God. Thereupon, he was severely criticized by Gopal Chakravarti, a learned Brahmana, but Haridas Thakur remained in a humble position and did not consider the Brahmana's offense. Whereas the other participants were highly upset, Haridas just replied that Gopal Chakravarti was not to be criticized because the importance of the chanting of the holy name could not be comprehended by arguments but only through devotional practice. Krishna, however, did not forgive the Krishna, however, did not forgive the Brahmana. After 3 days, his nose melted away due to incurable leprosy. Haridas Thakur was unhappy when he heard of the Brahmana's fate. Therefore, he went to Santipura, where Advaita Acharya lovingly took care of him. Sri Advaita gave him food which had been offered to the ancestors and was reserved for the Brahmanas. He declared that as a Vaishnava, Haridas Thakur was transcendentally situated, and to feed him was as pious as to feed millions of Brahmanas. This was intolerable for the Brahmanas of Santipura, and they declared the Acharya to be an outcast. Later, feeling great regret, they apologized and declared Advaita and Haridas to be perfect living beings, situated above the regulations of the four castes. Haridas chanted a daily quota of 300,000 holy names without fail. The first 100,000 names he chanted in a loud, resounding voice. The second 100,000 he chanted softly, as in whispering, and the last he chanted in the mind. Sometimes he would laugh, cry, and dance, or he would faint and fall to the ground. At other times, he behaved like a madman, but when he spoke out, he revealed deep knowledge and comprehension of the revealed scriptures. People came from far to see him, and finally he became a political problem. The Muslims were eager to spread their influence, but now a member of a very respectable Muslim family had converted to Hinduism. Haridas was arrested and brought to Hussein Shah. The Muslim ruler forbade him to chant the holy names under the threat of death sentence. Haridas fearlessly responded, I am not going to stop Harinam, even if my body is cut into pieces. He was arrested and imprisoned, but in prison, Haridas immediately started to preach the glories of the holy name to the other inmates. When they also started to chant, the Shah's anger increased even more. He gave the order for Haridas to be to be beaten to death in 22 marketplaces. The policemen pounded him until they were exhausted. But through Krishna's mercy, his body remained uninjured. After this incident, the influence of Harinam quickly spread, and even Hussein Shah became strongly touched by it. Stop here. So today we read about the glories of Haridas Thakur. Oh, we we know little bit of about Haridas Thakur previously, like how he used to chant 300,000 names of the Lord every day, and we usually call like Namacharya Haridas Thakur. Because he takes 300,000 names each day, and we learned it like first 100,000 he used to chant loudly, then next 100,000 he was like whispering, and the last 100,000 he used to chant in mind. So, and a few other things also. We also know previously, like how one prostitute came one night to Haridas Thakura, and like she was asking Haridas Thakur to enjoy with her, but Haridas Thakura told, okay, I will enjoy, but let me first finish my rounds. And like she was waiting whole night and waiting. She saw, and Haridas Thakur had no attraction for her, but Haridas Thakur was busy in chanting. Finally, she got attracted for the holy name, and she was like initiated by Haridas Thakur. that was like, if someone has that, what we learn from this, that if someone, if we have attraction for the holy name, nothing can deviate us from that. We should have that much like love, faith, and attraction for the holy name, so we'll not deviate from our path. Then another thing, we learned that like how Haridas Thakur, when he went to Santipura to Advaita Acharya's home, and Advaita Acharya was like offering the prasad to Haridas Thakur, because Advaita Acharya thought that like Vaishnava, like Haridas Thakur, even though he was born in a Muslim family, he was a pure Vaishnava, and it was very, it was very auspicious to feed him, and other Brahmanas did not accept it, but finally they concluded that both Advaita Acharya and Haridas Thakura are like great Vaishnavas. And we saw like how Haridas Thakura was tortured by the Muslims, and he was like how he was beaten in, how first he was in prison, but however in prison he started preaching and converted other his inmates. He was like preaching them. Then finally he was like beaten in 22 different marketplaces, and he was humiliated so many things. But however, we saw that he was in remain. Nothing happened to him, no injuries. That was Lord's mercy for Haridas Thakura. So yeah, the glories will read more and more about Haridas Thakura. So this much things as like